Hi, I'm Janice Meredith from JBM Think Sports Parenting, and I'd like to talk to you today about your child's anger. Now, first of all, let me say that anger in competition is very normal, and it's almost to be expected because sports and competition are very emotional, and a lot of kids are very emotional about competition. And so it's nothing unusual, and it's nothing to be alarmed at. I think that there are just some ways that you can help your child learn to handle the anger and deal with the feelings that they have. So let's just talk about that for a few minutes. First of all, I think it's really important that you recognize that your child may need to vent or release a little bit, not in a bad way, not at you, but maybe find a healthy way for them to do that. Maybe it's just being quiet in the car on the way home from the game, letting them have their silence. Maybe it's letting them go to their room when they get home so they can stew over it and get over it. I remember one instance when my daughter was playing volleyball in high school, and it was after a particular match at which she felt she did horrible. And so she got in the car, she was in a bad mood, she was snapping at us, and we drove into a restaurant to grab something to eat, and she said, "I'm gonna go for a quick run." Well, it was 10 o'clock at night, and we were in a strange neighborhood, but we kept our eye on her, and we said, "Okay, go ahead." So she went for a run, 10 minutes, came back, was ready to go. Now, she wasn't necessarily in a good mood, but she wasn't in a bad mood. She wasn't snapping our heads off, and that was one way for her to release her frustration and her anger. So whatever it is, help your child figure out a way, what they would like to do. Maybe ask them, how do you want to express your anger? What's the best way for you to release that frustration? And then allow them that time and that space to do it. I think another thing is to realize that you need to back off a lot of times, and don't try to reason with an angry child. It usually doesn't work. When they're in the midst of their emotion, they're not going to be able to reason with you. You won't be able to reason with them. It'll go in one ear and out the other, and you may as well just have not said it. But there will be a time when you can talk about it, when the anger is subsided, when your child is talking rationally. Sit down and have a conversation and talk about how they can learn to handle their anger better. And perhaps, give them some tools like breathe deeply, count to 20, think before you speak. I mean, in the heat of the game, remember that they're reacting in anger because they're facing a problem. So maybe talk to them about what it was that made them so angry. What was the problem that they faced that made them so angry? And then help them figure out solutions for that problem so that they don't have to react in anger. For instance, let's say your child got angry because in a basketball game, her teammate was not passing the ball to her, and she's just really frustrated and angry. Okay, well, how can she deal with that? Talk through what she can do about that situation and what's the best way to handle the situation, and come up with a solution for the problem. I think another thing that we need to remember is that we as parents, again, we have to step back. We have to let our kids have emotions and have feelings, and let them sort through it a lot on their own, as well as being sure that they're doing it in healthy ways. I remember an instance when my daughter was in 8th grade, and she was playing basketball, and she had anger. She was pulled out of the game, and she came out kind of huffing and puffing, and her teammate reached out to slap her, high five her, and she just turned away and rebuffed her. And I thought, that wasn't very good. That wasn't a very good attitude. But I didn't say anything to her. The next game, she was a starter, but the next game she sat out the whole first half. And after the game, she told us that the coach had pulled her out and told her that that's not how you treat your teammates, and that's not how you handle your anger. So another thing I would say to you is talk to the coach. If your child is struggling with this anger issue in a game, get on board with the coach. Work together with the coach to figure out how you can help the child best. And I went up to that coach after the game and I said, thank you for doing that, because she needed to learn how to handle her anger and her frustration better. So you and the coach need to work together and be on the same team with this, and go talk to them and just say, hey, so-and-so is struggling with anger. Can we maybe do a timeout or pull him out of the game, or, calm him down or something when has this anger? Can we work together on this? And hopefully your coach is the kind of person that says, yes, I totally want to work with you on this. I want to, I want your child to learn from this experience. So those are just my thoughts on how you can help your child deal with anger. And you're never going to totally eradicate anger because, like I said, sports are emotional and it's just going to happen. But I think just leading and guiding your child in ways that they can learn to vent healthily, release the anger healthily, and have the tools to manage their anger, and then figure out how to find a solution to the problem that caused their anger. So just some thoughts to think about. Be sure that you are part of the Positive Sports Parenting Tribe this week. Have a great week.